All right, so before we head downstairs, I wanted to show you what's happening behind closed doors. Yeah, so in this room here, he has a series of 3D printers, and what Duchamp is doing is either small little pieces that he finds ways to do micro improvements on. He'll just come here and he'll actually print those pieces on his 3D printer. The other thing that he uses this for is he takes this piece and he 3D prints different profiles for his windows. And he does this as a way to kind of check their ideas, but also to work with his fabricators and employees downstairs as to exactly what those profiles should look like and how they go together, so that you can literally 3D print the whole window profile here, you know, where the hinge holes go, etc., and be able to check this before you go into production. So speaking of production, let's head downstairs and see the real thing. All right, I told you we'd see sooner than later. We're outside. Where does all that sawdust go? Well, it comes in the top, goes into that hopper, and then goes through a hydraulic press. Why a hydraulic press? Why are you speaking so fast, Steve? Because it's 0 degrees Celsius out here. It's about 28, 29 degrees. I'm freezing. I got a short sleeve shirt. I didn't plan properly, but it presses it into these hockey pucks. Check this out. It's basically a wood fiber hockey puck that then gets used as fuel in a high performance boiler. And we're gonna see that on the other side in another part of the video. And then these pieces basically just get dropped in. Now, here you can see they're pressing some, this is Meranti, I believe, right? It's a mahogany type product. So whether you're making it out of larch or whether you're making it out of mahogany, now the mahogany is a little harder, but these become the energy to heat that building, lower the carbon footprint. Materials never leave the site. They just turn into energy and the employees stay nice and warm. So anyways, that's what happens to sawdust, the power plant. Now, you saw the hydraulic press. It's making those hockey pucks. Where do those hockey pucks go? Well, they go into the hockey puck bin, right? You can see here, we can grab this. There's that wood fiber hockey puck, right? All wood fiber burns. So inside here, you see a giant auger. It grabs those hockey pucks and it puts them into that little channel. That little channel is basically an auger that then takes those hockey pucks and brings them into this space here. And you can see here, we have this high performance boiler, but those hockey pucks are coming up into the auger, dropping down, and then they're getting fired up. So we're taking a byproduct from the factory, wood sawdust, we're making it into hockey pucks, turning it into energy that then takes heated hot water and either stores it in this device or uses it to provide comfort to the employees there, all while minimizing that carbon footprint. Now, on days where maybe we don't want to fire this up and we're using the PV to heat this hot water, right? Because if he's making more electricity than he needs, he dumps that electricity in here to heat the hot water. So let's take a look at what happens on those days where it might not be the nicest day outside, very much like today. Well, we come in here and look at this. This battery bank has, I think it's 200 kilowatt hours of energy stored in it. And so this is his battery backup to the factory. So when the PVs don't necessarily have enough energy to run the factory, he's charging these batteries or using these charged batteries to then provide power to the facility. Now, in some parts of the winter where, okay, we don't have sun, we need electricity, he will buy power during the night at an ultra low cost, and it's nuclear power coming from a neighboring country that charges these batteries. So during the day, when the electricity prices are at an all-time high, he's using power that was purchased at an all-time low. All right, I told you, before we leave, you're gonna see where the next step is. So not only did we come to a communist tank factory and talk about some of the best windows in the world, we aren't leaving here until we show you the next level secret stuff that they're working on. So Patrick, talk to me, what do we got here?
So here we have a MAKROWIN wood aluminum clad window with an integrated exterior shade right in and out. Now you're asking, how come it's an exterior shade, right? We have a window here that has triple pane glass in it, and the shade is on the outside of that triple pane assembly. There is a fourth pane of glass, which enables you to maintain this cavity. In the past, manufacturers have tried to put the blind in between the insulated glass assemblies. Right. And what you ended up with a sealed argon cavity that really wasn't sealed. You lost the argon, you got the condensation there, you got this coloring, and it's essentially to replace the window.
Right.
Here the blind is on the outside, so you're stopping the solar heat gain before it gets into your building. You have a triple pane R10 glass assembly behind it. And because of the solar panels now, the solar panels and batteries are integrated into the unit, so you have no longer low voltage wiring that you have to bring into the window, no longer manual operators that you remember, let air leak right through the window. We believe that this is now the right way to do exterior shading built into the window itself.
So let me just recap that for you. We got solar shading on the right side of the triple glazed thermal pane window, where it wants to be. It's protected in a sealed cavity with the fourth piece of glazing here that's aluminum clad, basically very, very maintenance friendly. The shading device is remote controlled. There's no wiring. It is solar powered. That actually has a battery cell in there. So it basically stores that energy and then runs the blind with it. And the thing that I like about this whole window unit is, let me see if I can close this with one hand. Got my finger dexterity going on. If I take this and close it and then I open it, notice the shading device moves with the window, right? So you have access to it, to repair it, to exchange it out. Both EAS and MAKROWIN have all the information about this, so should something go wrong, they can get you new units to replace this with over time. But that shading device now goes. You don't have this shade hanging on the inside trying to figure out what am I going to do with it. It's
we believe this is, after many, many years, this is the right way to do shading on a window.
Yeah. So we're talking some of the best wooden windows in the world, fabricated here, northern Slovakia, in a former communist tank factory. I can't write a script any better than this.
It's nice turning from tanks to building windows
to building windows
planet,
that are at half the carbon footprint of any other European window manufacturer here. So huge shout out to Dušan, not only for opening his doors and allowing us to come here, but acting on his conscience, right? Not only is he building the very best windows, but he's doing it in the very best possible way, right? Imagine if everybody in the building industry followed in his footsteps and used the example that Dušan sets here in building windows. Imagine what that building industry would look like if we all acted with exactly the same conscience he does. A huge thank you to Patrick for allowing me to come out on this trip with him and checking this stuff out. And if you're looking for windows, European Architectural Supply, you know that's where I get all of our windows, whether they're wood frame, aluminum frame, UPVC, they're all there. And for those of you that are sitting back going, yeah, great video, Steve, but I can't afford those windows, do not get in touch with European Architectural Supply. I'm telling you, you are going to be very pleasantly surprised. Yes, these wood frame windows, they're not for every project. They're not for every one of my projects, right? But Patrick has all different kinds of levels and scenarios where he can put some of the best performing windows in your project for prices you're not going to believe. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed that. Again, thanks Dusham, thanks Patrick. If you're a subscriber, well, then you already know this is the place to hang out if you want the best information on YouTube about building. If you are new, smash that subscribe button, watch the video, be thrilled, go tell all your friends. Come see Steve. This is where we talk about building and building right. The other thing I want to point out, there's a lot of channels on YouTube. I watch a lot of them. People put up pictures, drawings, they're not theirs. On this channel, I show nothing but my projects. If you're going to look at MAKROWIN windows, it's because we've used MAKROWIN windows. You can go back and look at projects where we've used MAKROWIN windows. So you're getting it firsthand right here from the source. So if you're not a subscriber, smash that subscribe button. Until next time, you know the deal. Long live our buildings.